In the vast tapestry of the Ramayana, filled with heroes, villains, and divine interventions, there exists a figure of quiet strength and wisdom, a woman whose voice was often drowned out by the tumult of destiny. Mandodari, the queen consort of Ravana, stands as a fascinating figure of intellect and moral clarity. While her name often remains overshadowed by the larger-than-life characters of Rama, Sita, and Ravana, Mandodari played a key role in demonstrating the power of counsel, even when it went unheeded. Mandodari was no ordinary queen. Born of the Apsara Hema and the Danava king Maya, she was endowed with beauty, grace, and above all, profound wisdom. Her marriage to Ravana, the mighty king of Lanka, united two powerful worlds, one of intellect and the other of immense ambition. But unlike Ravana, whose pride often blinded him, Mandodari possessed a deep sense of morality and an unwavering compass to discern right from wrong. She was more than just a devoted queen. She was a guide who sought to temper the recklessness of her husband's power with the wisdom of restraint. Her moment of greatest heartbreak, and perhaps her most defining one, came when Ravana's obsession with Sita began to consume him. Mandodari had heard the tales of Sita's incandescent beauty and virtuous character, the wife of Lord Rama, the exile in the forest. Ravana, driven by his ego and inflamed by Surpanaka's humiliation at the hands of Rama and Lakshmana, devised the fateful plan to abduct Sita, sparking a chain of events that would lead to downfall and devastation. Mandodari, however, saw the folly in this. She knew her husband's strengths and his flaws better than anyone. In her private chambers, she pleaded with him, her voice steady but filled with urgency.
My lord, you are a king of unmatched power, a scholar of the Vedas, blessed by gods and demons alike. Why would you of all men seek to take what does not belong to you? Sita is a woman of unparalleled virtue, the wife of another. To violate the sanctity of her bond with Rama is not just an offense against Dharma, it is an act that will bring ruin upon Lanka.
Ravana dismissed her words, consumed by his own arrogance. To him, Mandodari's caution was born of unnecessary fear, not foresight. He believed his strength was insurmountable, his kingdom impenetrable. But Mandodari's heart ached, knowing that Ravana's hubris would not only lead to his destruction, but also bring sorrow to the people of Lanka, the very land she loved as her own. Time and again, Mandodari tried to counsel him. Even as Ravana's sister Surpanaka whispered revenge into his ears, even as his advisors flattered him with assurances of inevitable victory, it was Mandodari who dared to speak the truth. She warned him that Rama was no ordinary mortal, that he was an incarnation of Vishnu, sent to restore Dharma, the cosmic order. But Ravana, blinded by his obsession and wounded pride, was deaf to her wisdom. When Ravana finally kidnapped Sita, deceiving her by transforming his appearance into that of a wandering ascetic, Mandodari's heart grew heavy with grief. She watched, helpless, as Lanka was pulled into the vortex of war. The joy and splendor of the Golden City were eclipsed by the shadow of Ravana's reckless desire. Mandodari stayed at his side, torn between her duty as a wife and her sorrow as a woman who loved her people. As Rama's army of Vanaras marched toward Lanka and the skies trembled with the roar of battle drums, Mandodari's warnings became even more urgent. She implored Ravana to return Sita, to bow to Dharma before it was too late.
It is not weakness to admit one's wrongs, it is wisdom to course correct before disaster strikes.
But her words, though wise and true, fell on ears that had long stopped listening. The battle that followed shook the heavens. One by one, Ravana's allies and sons fell. The cries of anguish reverberated through Lanka's golden halls. Mandodari was left to bear witness to the unraveling of her world, a world built on hubris and defiance of righteousness. And then the inevitable happened. Ravana, her husband, the mighty king of Lanka, was defeated in combat by Lord Rama. As she stood over his lifeless body, her heart shattered. Mandodari's grief was not just for her husband, but for the tragedy of his choices. She mourned the man who could have been a beacon of greatness, but had allowed his desires to consume him. She mourned for the king who ignored the wisdom of those who loved him most. Even in the aftermath of Ravana's fall, Mandodari remained dignified. She acknowledged Rama as the restorer of Dharma and spoke with grace and humility. Her presence in Lanka ensured that the kingdom, though battered, would find a path to healing and redemption. Mandodari's strength and wisdom guided Lanka towards a future filled with promise. Mandodari's story is one of quiet strength and resilience. She epitomizes the balance between loyalty and moral integrity, a balance that is neither simple nor easy to maintain. Her warnings to Ravana serve as a timeless reminder of the importance of listening to voices of reason, of tempering ambition with humility. Perhaps the greatest tragedy of Mandodari is that her wisdom, though unparalleled, could not change the course of destiny. Yet, in her resilience, she leaves a legacy that transcends the pages of the Ramayana. Mandodari is not just Ravana's queen, she is a symbol of wisdom, compassion, and the courage it takes to speak truth to power, even when it is ignored. Her story, though tinged with sorrow, is one that deserves to be remembered, not merely as a footnote in Ravana's tale, but as a testament to the enduring strength of those who seek to uphold Dharma, even when surrounded by chaos. Mandodari, the queen of wisdom, will forever remain a beacon of morality in a world often driven by pride and passion.